tell me about yourself and what winery you work for, and briefly about your project.
Okay. I'm Francesco Versio. I work from Figli Luigi Oddero in La Morra. Figli Luigi Oddero have the property, also a little property in Barbaresco area, in Traiso village. We have 2.5 hectare about in Rombone, subzone MGA. And after I have also a little winery of my property. I produce in total 6,000 bottles, 3,000 bottles about of Barbaresco, and I have the vineyards in San Cristoforo MGA and Curra MGA in Nave.
And tell us about the 2016 vintage. How do you feel about the vintage, and what was the characteristics of the 2016?
Okay, the vintage for me personally is one of the most interesting vintage in the last 10 years, because for me it's a vintage complete, was a vintage complete. Complete because of the wine that we produce are rich in complexity, and at the same time have elegance and finesse. And this is not easy to arrive to this characteristic every year. And we arrive also to have in 16 a perfect phenolic ripeness, perfect ripeness of tannins, and perfect ripeness in the skin. And for this we work with longer maceration. It was possible to work with long maceration for obtain a best results, a wine complete in general, structure, complexity, potential for the long aging.
And it seems like most of the wines that we had today were coming out of Botti rather than Barrique. So the trend seems to be going away from the Barrique. And so what is happening here on that scene?
Now, compared to the past, I don't like to talk about the style of the producer. For me, the most important thing is the final results of the wine. I taste good wine aged in a big barrel, and good wine aged in small barrel. Personally, I prefer the style of the big barrel for Nebbiolo, but it's only a personal style, a personal preference. And I think now the people start to return to the old system to produce wine where the oak is not the most important things, but the most important things is the characteristic of the variety, the characteristic of the vintage, and the soil of the vineyards. I think this.